God, you scared me. What are you doing? Yeah, I can see you're crawling into my tent. Why? You have a perfectly good one that is 10 feet to the left. You're cold. Get in your sleeping bag then. It's not that cold out right now. All right. Just shh. Keep your voice down. Need I remind you that both my parents and your parents have their own tents across the way on the other side of this campfire that's, I don't know, 30 feet away at best? Yes, you can come in and warm up for a minute, as long as you stay quiet and leave in like the next 5 minutes so that I can go to bed. Okay, you can zip up the tent. Now sit there quietly while you warm up or whatever, and then scoot back to your tent so that I can get some sleep. Sunrise comes awfully early, and your dad seems pretty keen on taking us fishing. You said that last year, too, and you barely even caught a sunfish. Yeah, that little thing that was just flopping back and forth on your hook. Even I got a bigger fish than you did last summer. And if I recall correctly, you talked a big game then, too. So, you might need a better night's sleep than I do if you're gonna outfish me tomorrow morning. Yeah. I guess we'll just have to see. Now be quiet and warm up and, like I said, scoot. Hey, what are you doing? Well, yeah, it's warm in my sleeping bag. I'm in here. No, there's not enough room for both of us. And you have a perfectly good sleeping bag in your tent that will accommodate you with some extra wiggle room. No, you can't stay here. Well, then, go find an extra blanket if you're that cold. What do you mean this is better? It is very cramped and very uncomfortable to try to exist in the same sleeping bag as you without, like, being on top of you or something. Hey, what are you doing? No, that doesn't mean that you wrap your arms around me and get as close as possible. Making more room? There was enough room in here before you got in here. In fact, I had more than enough room to wiggle around or even turn over in my sleep. And now, I can barely move. What? No, it is not more comfortable in my sleeping bag than it is yours. We have the same sleeping bag. That was a stupid joke, even for you. Yeah, I get it. We have the same sleeping bag now that we're both in the same one. You know what I meant. What do you mean that's not what you meant? We don't have the same sleeping bag? But I'm pretty sure we got them at the same place, and they have the exact same brand name on them. Okay, then how is your sleeping bag different from mine? Because I'm not in it? You know, those cheesy lines of yours, they may have worked on me in the past when, it was easier to fluster me because boys were so new, but I've grown immune to those lines over the years. especially since our parents are best friends. Yeah, I grew immune to those lines a long time ago. I am not blushing. I am just cold. You said it was cold outside. I'm cold. That was not the go-ahead to wrap your arms around me tighter. Yes, I know I said I was just cold, but I promise my sleeping bag will do a well enough job by itself to keep me warm. No, you don't have to be a gentleman and stay here. I will be just fine. What? Stop. You're making a fool out of yourself by continuing to try these lines on me. No, I'm not flustered at all that you think my cheeks are pretty when they're all flushed like this. Nope, not flustered. If anything, I would say I'm amused that you keep trying even though we both know you're gonna fail. Well, you always have been the determined type, I will give you that. What? What's your favorite? Oh, um, nope. Nope, still not flustered. Why on earth would I be flustered after you saying that my laugh is your favorite sound in the world? Nope, I am calm as a cucumber. Like I said, these are just cheesy lines of yours I've gotten used to over the years. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right. Still completely immune. Ha! Joke's on you for that one. You can't see the stars in my eyes right now. We're in a tent. Huh? You were watching me while we were having the campfire earlier? Oh, well, yeah, I noticed you kept looking over, but I I thought it was because maybe you were just listening to the story your mom was telling me. So, you're trying to convince me that you were looking over so much because you wanted to see the stars reflected in my eyes? And nope, that doesn't fluster me at all. I don't know what you would be talking about. No, they don't. Just stop looking at my cheeks. Well, I'll stop if you stop. There. Just look at the ceiling of the tent instead. No, stop looking at me. No, not because it flusters me, but because you won't stop looking at me with that big stupid grin on your face. Why are you smiling like that? What? No, I am not cute. No, I am not blushing either. I'm just cold, like I said. And no, before you say anything, I don't need you to warm me up right now. And besides, you should go back to your own tent, into your own sleeping bag. You shouldn't even be here right now. What happens if my parents or your parents wake up and find us not just in the same tent, but the same sleeping bag? Yes, I am fully aware that we are both adults, but they're gonna think something is going on in here, and I don't want them to think that or get weird looks from them tomorrow. What? What do you mean something could be going on in here? There's nothing going on. You just crawled into my sleeping bag. I've been trying to kick you out, and it hasn't gotten very far. but there's nothing else going on. Huh? You want something to be going on in here? I don't understand. Yeah, you said you came into my tent because you were cold. That wasn't the real reason. Okay. I'm a little afraid to ask, but what was the real reason then? The same reason you crawled into my sleeping bag. I assumed it was because you were actually cold or were just trying to mess with me or something because you knew we had to get up early tomorrow to go fishing. But if those aren't the reasons why, then why did you come into my tent and work your way into my sleeping bag? It's easier if you show me. What does that mean?